Today's bike of the day is a 1980s Suzuki Katana 1100, and it's got a sidecar. There's three things I want to mention when it comes to the Katana, or at least this specific one, that make it very cool in my mind. First, all Katanas are cool. They revolutionized the idea of what a UJM or Universal Japanese Motorcycle could be. It still had the traditional inline-4 motor and all those things, but Suzuki hired a design team called Target Design, led by Hans Muth, to create this really fascinating styling that you see here that really did inspire generations of motorcycles. I mean, Suzuki even brought it back for a new version only a couple years ago. Number two, this is a Japanese model. So Adam, my partner here at Iconic, found this in Japan and imported it. Those of you that are familiar with Katanas will know that this is not a paint job that we got in the US. Normally we're used to seeing silver ones. This is this gorgeous kind of deep red with some silver accents and the orange Suzuki logo on the sidecar there. So it's a Japanese model, which means of course it's in kilometers, and it's got the speed warning light and a couple other Japanese specific touches. Number three, the sidecar. And because it's a Japanese model, normally sidecars in American bikes are on my side of the bike, on the right side, but as they ride on the other side in Japan, it's on the left side, which is a little weird. I've taken it up for a quick spin, and it's kind of unsettling because now when you're in the lane, the sidecar is closer to traffic. So if you're trying to make a pass or something like that, you've got this huge chunk of metal, or hopefully a terrified passenger in there, because tomorrow I'm actually gonna take Adam for a ride in this for our usual Sunday ride. So it's a really cool concept, and the last thing I wanna kind of focus on, just because most people don't necessarily have sidecar experience, they get thrown off by the front suspension. So I'm gonna come back down here. Generally your motorcycles, excepting oddballs like my Tessie 3D with its hub center steering, generally you've got telescoping front forks. That works great when you are turning by leaning, if your front tire is doing that. But in a case like this, you cannot lean. And so instead, the front wheel, when you're turning, you're kind of steering like a car, really. And in a setup like that, that puts too much flex on traditional front forks. So with a setup like this, these leading links, you can adjust the trail, make it easier so it takes less effort to hurl the rig around, and it's just stronger and more stable. In fact, because you don't really lean these things, sometimes you'll see true sidecar nuts actually put car tires on it, so there's no curvature at all, it's just flat. Some people call that dark siding, but that's a video for a different day. There's also a pretty hefty steering stabilizer on this, which is helpful. Because one of the things, one of the characteristics you'll get when you add a sidecar to your bike, if you accelerate briskly, the whole thing is going to pull alignment-wise towards the side that the sidecar is on, and then when you get heavy on the brakes, it will pull the other way. So it's something you need to be cognizant of when you're on the road. I want to kind of take this for a quick spin so you can see what it's like and hear what it sounds like. This bike actually has a Marshall exhaust, which I don't have much experience with. Apparently it's pretty popular in the UK, but it does sound great. So that's pretty good. There's no real parking brake on a sidecar, so got to use the gear there. Let's take it for a quick little spin as it rolls away. Normally we like to do a ride-by so you can hear what the bike sounds like, but in this case, I'm going to show you something a little bit different, because there's one thing you can do with a sidecar that you can't really do with a motorcycle. Here we go.